and we also have Honorable Ferdinand, who is a former MP, and Honorable Emmanuel. So I don't know whether they have something to say regarding uh, the presentations that were very rich. Now let me turn the floor to the Honorable Jean-Claude, who is close to me. Then Emmanuel will also add something regarding uh, the way they appreciate. So they are going to contribute towards the presentations that have been made. Thank you, moderator. Good afternoon. Thank you for these enriching presentations. And I would like to talk about the illicit financial flows, which I qualify as the source of poverty for African countries, because the natural resources that our continent is endowed with, they are exploited. So these resources are plundered for the benefit of rich countries, and you have already highlighted it regarding the illicit financial flows, whether in Burundi or elsewhere in Africa. We have people who are avoiding paying taxes. Regarding taxes, we know that somebody who's doing an incoming generating activity has to pay taxes. So it's like a company doing its income generating activities and avoiding to pay taxes. So this should be a contribution that has to be collected from taxpayers, whether they are individuals or companies having income generating activities. So that money should be invested in the development of the host country. So if I try to establish a linkage with the role of a journalist, so the journalist has an obligation to sensitize, to inform the public in terms of the role of taxes for a country's development. And you also highlighted the false invoicing regarding taxes. Some people, when they have a turnover of 1 billion, for instance, so they just make a statement for just half of it, that is 500 million. So the money that was supposed to be paid, that should contribute to the development of the country, cannot do that. So they reduce by half what they owe the government or the country. So that has a negative impact, and that contributes towards impoverishing the population. So we also have people so there are people who are working when they are not registered, and we can say that instead of using so instead of investing the money in the host countries, the money is invested in overseas, actually in the Western countries. So that is actually the negative impact on in development for African countries. And what I want to say regarding the mineral resources of Africa, we know that Africa is very rich. And we have seen companies coming to Africa. A French company, Total, that is investing in Africa, in the DRC, in Uganda. So they are investing in natural resources. So they are investing in what we would call the World Heritage Sites. So this is some news that are trending, and so those international firms are trying to invest in these World Heritage sites, and so they should use. So contracts should be well established so that we can avoid illegal exploitation of natural resources of Africa. We have mineral prospects contracts. We have those contracts, but we don't see any output from those activities. If we talk about the coffers of our country, so we always have budget deficits, and we have budget lines that never change while exploitation continues. So we can see that there is some embezzlement in this mining sector. We have money that is embezzled during contract negotiations. This is one case observed in our countries, where we have brokers who get commissions in the sale of industrial products, including products such as coffee and others. So we have those products are sold through brokers who get more money in terms of commission. So we need to stop that illegal flow. Thank you. Let me give the floor to the Honorable Emmanuel. Thank you for the floor. I'm called Emmanuel Lechinier, and I would like to say something regarding the presentations made by the different presenters. Overall, the presentations were very rich, and they were quite straight to the point, and fighting illegal financial flows is something very important. And I have closely followed the fact that African countries contract debts in the West instead of when the time to repay those loans, it becomes a huge burden for the African populations. So I think that in Africa, long-term debts are contracted, and those debts have to be repaid by the future generations. While the initial objective was to help in the development of the population, including in different projects. So we can see this does not really help in these African countries. And I would like, now regarding the role of the media, we saw that the role of media is very important because all for everything that has to be done, the population do not understand. They are not informed well enough. So I think that media really need to play a critical role to inform the population. Somebody said that in the charter we should include journalists because they also have a role to play in the spread of the information regarding what is contained in the charter. Now, speaking about the charter, it's a very important tool to help to help guiding regarding the way the debts are contracted, because we have realized that debts are contracted in a sort of illegal way. So the charter can help, and the MPs should be involved before the debts are contracted. So it has to be transparent. And I would like to say that overall, the lessons I learned from these presentations are very important, and I believe that we need to have more opportunities such as this one so that we may better use the resources of African countries. Thank you. Let me give the floor to the former MP Ferdinand, who is a member of the network of parliamentarians against illegal financial flows. Thank you very much. I would like to, first of all, thank the presenters. I would like to thank the organizers of this workshop. I would like to say a few words regarding debt and media. Now, regarding debt, our countries our African countries borrow, and most of the time the debt is not well used or is not used appropriately. The, and our governments do not manage well the debts, and that's why even the objectives are not well achieved. And corruption is a hindrance for the governance of those debts. So we have to fight corruption So we need to fight corruption. talk about transparency in the management of resources from the debt, because when we borrow a debt, we borrow amounts that will be repaid in 20 or 30 years. Somebody said this morning that our children are born with a debt burden. So they are actually born with a 300,000 debt burden. This is quite a huge as a burden for this newborn baby who is innocent. I would like to talk about the role of media. Media have got a very important role to play in the countries. Somebody said that media are the fourth estate.
Je demanderai aux médias.
I would like to ask the media, I would like to request from the media to spread or to broadcast these messages from this workshop. So that every average citizen should be informed of what transpired from such workshops.
Les médias sont des intermédiaires entre.
So the media they are the intermediary between decision makers and the general population.
Ce qui se passe.
So the media should inform the people regarding what is being done, so that they need to update the people regarding the decisions made. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Merci à l'équipe.
Thank you very much. We thank the team from Nairobi. We are happy for this initiative, and we thank the members of parliament for their commitment. We would like to remind you that the Burundian tax regime is being reformed. So some laws have, the tax law is being reformed, and we are going very soon to see whether the changes or the reforms are proper and progressive.